Hey everybody, what I thought I would do is kind of do an example analysis for you on a commercial. Betta is here to make sure that I get all the details right. She's actually here to make sure that things are twice as difficult as they would be otherwise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the commercial once without interruption, and then we'll go back and I'll pause it at various points to talk about how ethos, pathos, and logos are operating here. I also want to apologize for the quality of this video. I'm not really sure why it's like below standard definition, but it's good enough. You'll understand. You'll get everything you need to get from it. So like I said, first time through is going to be strictly to watch the video. So just watch it, see what you see. Don't worry about catching things. There's Betta making sure that, like I said, things are twice as difficult. So just watch the video for what it is. And then when we're done with the video, like I said, I'll start back at the beginning again and we'll watch it with pauses and conversation. Well, not conversation, monologue. I will tell you about some of the things I see in this video, okay?
If you're like me, you care about the food your family eats. I was pretty confused by everything I'd been hearing about high fructose corn syrup. So I did a little research to find out what independent experts like doctors, dietitians, and nutritionists had to say. I learned whether it's corn sugar or cane sugar, your body can't tell the difference. Sugar is sugar. And that's one less thing to worry about.
Learn more at cornsugar.com.
All right, so that is the commercial. We'll start back at the beginning. Like I said, I'll pause occasionally just to make some comments. So,
if you're like me, you care about the food your family eats.
All right, I want to stop there because one of the things that she has done is, or the authors of the commercial have done, is to instantly bring parents into this conversation. She instantly says, she says right off the bat, if you're like me, you care what your family eats. Well, who's going to say they don't care what their family eats? I mean, if there's anybody, it's going to be a pretty small percentage of parents, right? So she's already brought parents into this conversation, and once you identify with a character or a speaker or something, you're going to invest more in what that speaker says. This is a little bit like retailers know that if they can get you to put something in your cart, even if you're not sure if you're going to buy it, you're more likely to buy it once it's in your cart because you feel some ownership of it. Same way car dealers try to get you into the car, because once you're into the car, you start to identify that as you start to see yourself in it, so you start to identify yourself in it. So these are all ways that people kind of rope you into things. I want to point out the maze here, which indicates, of course, that we're talking about corn syrup. This was out several years ago, clearly before we had HD, when corn syrup was a big conversation. And the thing was corn syrup same as cane sugar? If it was, can the body tell the difference between the two? Is corn syrup as safe for your family as cane sugar? All of those questions were being debated in commercials. Actually, there were lots of commercials on both sides of the issue. So this maze indicates that there's some questions, there's some things that she needs to figure out. All right, let's see the next step.
I was pretty confused by everything I'd been hearing about high fructose corn syrup. So,
all right, I want to stop here because I want to point out her posture. This is a very short part of the video. When you watch the video beginning to end, you don't even necessarily recognize that you've seen this, but the posture she's got right now is a posture that we tend to associate with pregnant women. You've seen it. Mamas put their hands on their bellies like that. Part of the reason it's here is because they want to suggest to us, oh, I just saw it down at the bottom, this is 2010, so this is a 10-year-old commercial, sorry. But they want to suggest to us that she is a pregnant woman, and pregnant women, even beyond just mothers, are going to care even more about what they put in their bodies, right? This is the one point in motherhood that everything you eat has an impact on the fetus. So this is yet another layer of them saying this is a safe product because this woman could be pregnant, and if she is, she's still willing to eat corn syrup. See, there's nothing wrong.
I did a little research to find out what independent experts like doctors, dietitians, and nutritionists had to say.
All right, so a couple of things about that part. One, she says she did research about what independent experts had to say. So she's indicating that she didn't just listen to the sugar people or the corn people. The other thing that she does here, and this is where it relates back to our rhetorical triangle, is that she's already told us that she doesn't have any authority to talk about corn syrup itself, but she's now done research. So that research, she's educated herself. Now she knows, now she can tell us what those experts said. That gives her both ethos, some authority, and logos, that evidence. So keep in mind too, when you're writing your paper, that you don't have to say a moment in your text is just ethos or just pathos or just logos. They often overlap and get teamed up to be even more effective. So it's okay if you're looking at something and you're like, this feels like ethos and logos. That's okay. It could be. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that some texts you may find seem to be missing one of the key elements, ethos, pathos, or logos. And while it's rare that a text is actually missing one of those, if you think your text is actually missing it, make sure, double, triple check. But if it feels like it is missing one of those, that's an opportunity as a writer to explore why. Why isn't this text using emotion, or why isn't this text using logic or evidence? So that is something that you can think about as you're writing your paper. If you choose a text that feels like it's missing something, you can just talk about why you think it's missing that. What does that do to the text? Does it make it less effective? Does it make it more effective? Did your speaker miss the opportunity to bring up something that would have made their point even more effective? So, all right, let's watch the end of the commercial.
I learned whether it's corn sugar or cane sugar, your body can't tell the difference. Sugar is sugar. And that's one less thing to worry about.
So the final bit of the commercial, body can't tell the difference, sugar is sugar. She's made the argument now. Corn growers, they say their product is no different than sugar, that the body can't tell the difference. One thing I will point out, if you look in the upper left-hand corner of this commercial was actually made by the Corn Refiners Association of America. So even though we're not really talking about critical thinking in this, I will point out that this commercial was made by the people who will most benefit from you believing that corn syrup is the same as cane sugar. But she comes out of the corn maze, so now she knows the answer. She's not confused anymore, and she hugs her kid. Everybody's happy, and her final lines is, that's one less thing to worry about. certainly is speaking right to parents again. Parents have plenty to worry about. If you're not a parent, try to imagine being a parent. If you are a parent, you already know what I'm talking about. So this final line is kind of like, don't worry about corn syrup. You can think about other things now. All right. So that's the process of analyzing this short commercial. What I would recommend for working on the paper is to find your text. If it's something that you read or something that you watch, I would read or watch it a couple of times just to watch. Just look for details. Look for things that change, maybe camera angles that change or music that changes, something like that. Just kind of tuck those in the back of your brain. And then I would start to watch it kind of like we did here, kind of with a start and stop motion. Take some notes. Look for ethos, pathos, and logos. Think about the kairos, think about the audience, the message. Start to take some notes. Once you've got some good notes, start to organize those and you'll be ready to write. As ever, let me know if you have questions or concerns, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take good care of yourselves.